My name is Chip Scholz. I'm a executive coach, but that doesn't cover it. I spent a lot of time wood turning and teaching wood turning, and I'm just I've got stories to tell, and that's pretty much it.
Yes, everyone has stories to tell, and I think that's the amazing thing about podcasting. What is wood turning? I've never heard of that before.
That's really interesting. So, have you ever eaten out of a wooden salad bowl?
Oh, yes, plenty times.
Well, a wooden salad bowl is made by wood turning. So
Oh,
it's using a lathe and tools to make a something out of wood. All the stuff behind me is stuff that I've made.
oh, wow. Okay, and that's nice. What's your favorite
Yeah.
thing that you like to make from wood turn? Is it like the cabinets? Do you make your own cabinets as well?
No, no. So it's all the stuff that's on the shelves. It's you know, there's uh, ornaments, Christmas ornaments that I make. There's all kinds of bowls. I really enjoy making bowls. I just enjoy the act of creation.
Okay, and when did you start wood turning? Has this been like a childhood thing?
Well, I think everybody has the same story that is older. Is they probably turned wood when junior high or high school somewhere in shop class, and then didn't touch it for years and years. The average age of a wood turner is 67 years old, so it's kind of a hobby you pick up later in life. I had a stroke in 2012, and recovering from the stroke, my wife bought me a lathe, and I was hooked, and so I've you know pretty much gone deep over the last 14 years in wood turning. I teach it. In fact, I did a class yesterday, a basic bowl class. We had 13 people in the class, and it was very well attended. And so that's how I got into it, and you just start to learn. You start to go to classes. You start to meet other people. I'm president of the North Carolina Woodturners Association, which is a group that meets here, and pretty robust, and would just have a great time.
Okay, sounds good. Now I want to shift gears and dive deep into your leadership development. And this Scholz, correct?
Shoals.
Scholz. Okay, I apologize. And I like this. You said we believe you either lead a transformation or manage a demise. Elaborate on managing a demise.
Well, I think to put it in context is if we take a look at the difference between leadership and management, you manage resources, but you lead people. And at the heart of it, I don't care whether you're running a manufacturing business or you're running a fast food store. It's all about people, and it's not about the inventory. It's not about the performance. It's about the people. And so many of the businesses that I'm a part of and that I've worked with are people businesses. They're service businesses. They're in the third party logistics space or in construction or that kind of thing. And it's all about the people. And so you manage a demise. You don't go forward with management. Management is largely a task that looks in the past. It looks at all the numbers and that kind of thing. And it is something. But I've never met a person that wants to be managed. I meet all kinds of people that want to be led. you
Yes.
know and so leadership to me is being authentic. It's learning how to lead yourself, and that's what I'm talking about. Is okay, so am I going to lead a transformation? Am I going to be a transformational boss? And it doesn't really mean that I'm going to change everything. It means that I'm going to change what I need to change to have the business or the nonprofit or myself be the best I can be.
Okay. And now let's get into the books. I see the first one is Small Decisions, Big Shifts, and it has a 5 C's framework: context, clarity, conditioning, choice, and character. Why are those 5 C's important, and why should someone purchase this book?
Well, thank you for asking that. The the 5 C's are something I've been playing around with for years and been using in my business. And so when I talk about leadership and leadership being about people, and also being authentic, you've got to learn to lead yourself. And leading yourself is really the 5 C's framework. So it's clarity, or context is understanding what you want, or understanding where you are, understanding who you are, understanding what your condition is. You know, that's your context. And it's really hard to understand where you want to go if you don't know where you are. Clarity is being certain in no uncertain terms what you want. And there's a problem with that. And the problem is that most people don't know what they want. Most people have no clue what they want. They know what they don't want. They can tell you what they don't want, but they don't know what they want. And so it's understanding what you want. And usually it's in the guise of what is success to you long term. Now, success for me today may be having a great lunch with my kids, but success long term is a lifetime process. It's do I have a happy family? Am I happy? Do I have a good health? Am I financially stable? All of those things are things that I always hear about what people really want. And so if you frame what you want in the context of a lifelong pursuit of what your definition of success is, then you have a really good grounding in what you want. Conditioning is changing your mind. It's changing your mind to get things. You know, there's so many things that we believe or don't believe, and sometimes those beliefs are helpful. Sometimes they don't. You know, sometimes it's the beliefs are self-limiting. You know, if you
Yes,
believe you can't do something, you're not going to be able to do it, right?
absolutely.
So if you really want to do it, now I can't change my mind to believe I'm an NBA center, because that's never going to happen. But I can change my mind about the things that I want. I can change my mind in different ways, and so conditioning is changing your mind. Uh, Choice is choosing the behaviors that'll get me there. Because you know the old story. I don't know if you've ever heard this, but 6 frogs are sitting on a log. One of
No, I
them
haven't heard
decides to
that
jump
saying
off.
before.
How many frogs are left? Yeah, so 6 frogs are sitting on a log. One decides to jump off. How many frogs are left?
Oh, you're asking me. You said 6 frogs
I
sitting on a
am.
log and one decides to jump up. I'm sorry, I thought you were quoting. So that's 5 frogs left, right? Yeah, six
No,
frogs sitting
see,
on the
there's
log.
still 6 frogs, but see, one of them decides to jump off, but does the frog jump off?
Oh,
So the frog
see, that went right
decides,
over my
but
head.
he doesn't jump. Yep. So think about this. If you decide to do something, that's great, but you've got to take action to be able to do it. And that's what
Yeah,
choice is
okay.
all about. And the character is
Oh,
about personal accountability.
okay. I see what you did there with that.
Okay. Okay.
And then what about
Yeah, so I
character?
think the 5 C's framework is character is about personal accountability. Character is walking the talk. It's like let me give you an example. What's the difference between honesty and integrity to you?
To me, honesty is being truthful no matter how much it hurts. And integrity is standing on something despite standing on something that's important despite other people opinions. Let's say everyone else out here is doing the wrong thing, but you have integrity to do the right thing even though it's not popular. So I feel like honesty and integrity kind of intertwines with one another in a way.
They definitely do. Definitely do. So honesty to me is giving your word. If I give you my word, if you invite me over to dinner and I say I will be there, I've given my word that I'm going to be there. And then integrity is me showing up on time.
Okay.
Honesty is saying so if you say what you want and then you actually get it, that's integrity. So they both play together. You're right. Honesty is a part of integrity. Can you be honest without integrity? Well, yeah, I guess you can, but I think it would be really tough.
And I will say
That's
this
character.
with yeah, okay. I see what you did there. So I will say with small decisions and big shifts, this 5 C's framework makes it very important to get this book because with context, before you set out to do anything, you do need context. And you made a very important point when you said a lot of people know what they don't want, but they don't even have context of what they do want. And then you also need clarity. You need to condition your
Hmm.
mind. You, yes, the choice is you can say that you're going to do something, but are you going to do it? And then your character speaks loudly for itself. So, love the 5 framework, by the way. And what
Oh, thank
about
you.
every dog has its day?
So I let me put that in a little context for you. So I wrote a couple of books back in the early 2000s, 2009, and 2011. I wrote them with other people, and then I had the stroke, and I recovered okay from it, but it took a little while to do that. And for Father's Day several years ago, my kids gave me Storyworth. And Storyworth is a platform that sends you a question a week, and you write the story of that question. So what was your mom like? What was your dad like? Who did you take to prom? And that kind of thing. And over the course of a year, I wrote 60 stories, and they published a book, and the book ended up being 411 pages. Well, that got me back into writing. And that's when I finished Small Decisions, Big Shifts. And then I just kept on writing. And Every Dog Has Its Day, I wrote in about a month and a half last May. And we published it in March of this year. And Every Dog Has Its Day is just, it's personal philosophy. The subtitle is Reflections on Life, Love, and the Lathe. You don't usually hear life and love and lathe put all in the same sentence. And the reason you don't is because nobody really thinks about lathe or thinks about woodworking. But there's so many comparisons to life and friendship and people with wood turning. Because every bowl that I turn, everything that I turn started off as a log. And so it's just like people that you meet. I've met you, and we're having a great conversation, and maybe it will bloom into a friendship, or maybe it won't. And so some trees become part of the wood turning, and some don't. But as you cut the log open and you start to discover more what's inside the log, and figure out how it's going to fit on the lathe, what it's going to make, what kind of things you're going to do with it. Um, it's the same thing with friendship, because we may hit it off really well to begin with, but maybe there's something that keeps us from being friends down the road, or maybe it's something that lets the friendship bloom. And so there's so many parallels between wood turning and relationships and life. And so I I write stories about my wife. I write stories about my kids. I write stories about things that have happened that form philosophy. There is one story in there about a card a postcard that my dad sent me years ago. When I was about 8 years old, and it's called The Water Cure. The Water Cure is a poem about, whenever you're feeling really cocky, stick your hand into a bucket of water and then pull it out and look for the hole that's left. You know, so that's pretty much like our life, right? We can make a hole, or we can make an impression when we're alive, but maybe we'll be remembered when we're dead. But by and large, 100 years from now, who's going to know, right?
That's so true. You know, will you be remembered 100 years from now? That's a great question in itself. But I will say this. Thank you so much for joining. And the five principles of leadership in your five C's of framework really is important. So I assure everyone to get that book. I mean, also to get Every Dog Has His Day as well. But I think I was just on, yeah, small decisions and big shifts is very, very good. And I need to get that as well because I'm a student and I feel like I can apply that into my life. I may can't align it with wood turning, but I can align it with being a student in school. So thank you so much. And is there anything else you'd like to share before we wrap this up?
No, no, it's been a pleasure, and thank you so much.